Yo, keep the faith, never lose hope. Well, I don't know whose phone that was. Was that my phone? That wasn't my phone. So, okay, like I was saying. Okay. I'll start over again. Yo, keep the faith, never lose hope. What's going on, faithfuls? And we're live on all major platforms, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. All right. And welcome, of course, to our wonderful podcast of the Faithful Empire. All right. And of course, I'm your guy, Ryan. And of course, I got my fellas, my brothers, and of course, the panel. All right. You got Maverick, Nick Welsh, Ashley, Hope, the Paul the Hope. What's going on, guys? What's going on? What do you guys got?
Yeah,
Never
good,
lose
man.
the hope, do we, when you got me on the show, Ryan? I like that introduction.
I'm happy to have all three of you together. You, Ashley, and Nick. Really happy about that.
He's the new hope. He's like Luke Skywalker.
I like that, Ashley. You can stay.
Oh god, brownie points big time there.
His hands off. He's coming back strong to take down the Empire now in the final one.
What are you chopping Paul's hand off for?
At least his tendons have been chopped at the moment.
I'm gonna say it wouldn't. To be fair, Nick, it probably wouldn't be a worse injury with a broken finger and a ruptured Achilles. I'd just settle for being able to play flag football, Ashley. I know you're big into your contact, but Welsh Nick up here has been bigging himself up on the flag football scene over this side of the pond. So I want a piece of that.
You're gonna get involved, are you gonna get involved?
Yeah, that's
what team out of interest.
That's what I got my injury for. So Darlington Steam have got a contact team and they've started going into flag. So because I do all these kind of shows and I watch football, I was chatting to Nick. My New Year's resolution was to try the sport that I love and that I've spent 10, 15 years watching. First practice, actually, I broke my finger catching a rocket ball, but didn't drop it, may I add. Then in the practice game with a broken finger, interception for a touchdown. So I thought, this game's quite easy.
So what you're telling me is that if I play you, don't throw at you. Is this a warning?
That's the one. And then the second week, I was just gone for a run, and that's where my Achilles went. But yeah, I got some way back yet, lads. So I appreciate you having me on because this kind of thing's helping keep my spirit up at the moment.
Absolutely.
Cool.
I think we've all learned the value of just chatting and even online. Given the pandemic, all this stuff is really helpful. So I think we've all learned new coping mechanisms, haven't we? Mm-hmm. So this stuff is really valuable, and it's just great anyway. Whether you're going through something or not, to talk about football, isn't it, guys? I always say that a lot, but
of course,
I always use
telling I was telling the gents, Ash, before you came on. So Maverick and Nick have already heard this story, so they'll chuckle. Went out for tea yesterday with the missus and the girls, and I was wearing my kittle, my 49ers red and gold, as you do in the UK. And some gent just come strolling over and was like, "What's up, Paul?" Looked at him thinking, do not know who this dude is. And he was like, 49er Faithful UK, Club 85. And he was just chatting football with me. And like we've said before, I think Mav and Ryan will appreciate it's not that big over here, some people would think. But it was me yesterday in Middlesbrough, a northeast town, rocking my kettle jersey, thinking nothing of it. And a gent comes over and me and him are talking football and everybody else is walking past and they're thinking, what are them two talking about? I mean, the big news here yesterday, Mav, was Tom Brady. Was it the Manchester United game?
Yeah.
So that was all over social media and everyone was... So we were stood at that time when that game was going on, talking about George Kittle, talking about Kyle Shanahan, talking about Jimmy G. And the young waiter come over and he was like, is that what that Tom Brady played? That game you was what are talking about? I was like, yeah, mate, that was him. He did all right in our sport. He won a few trophies, so...
Yeah, one or two.
He's only the best quarterback ever.
That's your piece now. That's your piece now.
Bye.
Hey.
Piece.
Ryan, kick him out.
What do you mean kick me out?
You
really are pushing your luck, Nick. You are in terms of targets.
It's funny that you say kick him out because I was actually going to give the show to Ashley today and let him rumble along about his Patriots and his own veteran free agents that they're wide receivers they're searching for. But before we get to that, though, have you guys had enough time to marinate on the team I was referring to when it comes to Deshaun Watson?
You said it wasn't Carolina, am I right? You've changed your opinion on that.
Yeah. I'm gonna change my opinion on that because the trade pieces are not just draft picks. and I believe they own the 6th pick, if I'm not mistaken. But it also involves players like Christian McCaffrey, Brian Burns, and an offensive weapon that would, I think, Deshaun would love, and that's on DJ Moore. So those 3 guys will pretty much be out if Deshaun comes in. That is why I'm changing my pick. And the Saints, but the thing is, Carolina has enough money to pay the $35 million that Watson is on, plus the extra 4 years. While the Saints will have to get rid of more players just to make that salary room for Watson. So that's why I'm moving away from those 2. And the Colts, to me, I'm iffy about T.Y. I would love to see Deshaun and T.Y., but he don't look like he's gonna be there. So he'll only have Michael Pittman Jr. and who else is on that team? Pascal.
But they still would have, even if they signed Watson, they still have 35 million in space left over. All right, between 8 and 10 of that's going to be for their draft class. So they still have 25 million to go out and get them another weapon if they wanted to.
So the Colts looking good. But it's still not the best team that I think of.
What about Pittsburgh?
Put it this way, Ashley. Put it this way: the team that I'm thinking of, if all you need is to add Deshaun Watson, there shouldn't be no other pieces that really moves from that team, except for one, the main quarterback, and maybe like 2 other pieces that's not gonna affect Deshaun too tough when it comes to him being the quarterback. It'll make them they'll instantly become the Cincinnati Bengals of the NFC.
Of the NFC, yeah.
Of the NFC.
Okay. Let me. One that's coming to mind. I don't know if this is who you're referring to because I don't know too much about the situation. Although I know they've got some weapons on offense. This mainly comes about in my mind because of rumors about this quarterback being traded. You're not thinking about the Vikings, you?
There you go.
You're thinking of the Vikings. You were thinking of the Vikings.
I am thinking of the Vikings. I mean, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, and they possibly can add Dalvin's little brother if that's something they're looking at. I don't know. I mean, dude, the team's already stacked. Add a couple more pieces on defense, and they instantly become the Cincinnati Bengals of the NFC with Deshaun Watson.
Okay, I don't mind that. Although I think the only thing I'd fight back with is that I don't think Cousins has played particularly bad. He always has decent year-round stats, and it's just big games that he struggles with it most of the time. And with he won that playoff game, didn't he, against the Bills? I believe 1 year. But I think, did he get injured after that, or did he not play in the next one? I can't really remember what happened. Oh no, he played against the Chiefs, didn't he? Yeah, he played against the Chiefs, and they sort of fell apart, didn't they? So whether he fits that criteria they're looking for, their fans want for, which is, in the big game, in the big moment, can he live up? Which Cousins seems to not be able to do. I'm not sure. I'm not saying he can't. I know. I'm just thinking. I'm trying to play devil's advocate a bit here, but on the whole, though, I do quite like that idea. Particularly as there seems to be some sort of situation going on there with Kirk Cousins, and whether he seems happy there or not. So, I think he fits in very well in that offense as well because he can push the ball downfield. And let's be honest, he's more explosive than Kirk Cousins, isn't he? Really. Whatever way you cut it, you bring me around, man. You're really selling it to me. I like it. I like a big
upgrade.
It's a huge upgrade. But then I don't think offense was ever the Vikings' problem. Defense was the Vikings' problem last year.
That's what I mean.
It's all well and good if you can score 25 points. If you're conceding 30 every game, you're going to lose.
I'm trying to look at who the new head coach is now.
But remember what I said. Tweak the defense a little bit. Add Deshaun. I mean, the offense, like you said, has always been there. You put Deshaun in there. That's
it's an even Cincinnati better offense again.
Yeah,
that's crazy stuff.
The problem you've got though, Mav, is
as well. They play in a dome. That's appealing for the quarterback.
But where would Cousins
mind a thing? But as someone who plays quarterback, I would love to play every game.
Yeah, Cousins would have to go the other way then. Like Paul was saying, where would Cousins go? He'd have to go the other way. And to be honest, I actually quite like Davis Mills. I thought he showed quite a lot towards the end of the season. In fairness,
This is something I said last night. Yeah, I said that last night. I thought he looked quite promising. Like he
looks
came out
like
Stanford,
him too.
didn't he? Yeah, and I don't think Stanford's offense is archaic, so I don't think you really got to see the best of him. Sorry, Nick. So I think he's got a lot of potential, really.
So does Cousins have a no trade clause? Because this is what's interesting about us guys coming on the show tonight. We were joking, Ash, before you joined us about, we all celebrated Seattle's demise with Wilson going. And then the next day, Deshaun Watson's rumoured to Seattle. And every 49er fan's thinking, oh, please, not Seattle. But like what Mav's saying there, what you've found now is for us, waiting for Jimmy G to go, Deshaun Watson getting added to the mix. And like you said there, if Kirk Cousins becomes available, he's very much seen, Jimmy G is very much seen as a poor man's Kirk Cousins. So all of a sudden, if Kirk Cousins is available, that muddies the water for us. But it would be interesting, Mav. I like the way that you.
I mean, first off, we are so delayed in this trade with Jimmy G. I don't know how true it is, but I came across Twitter last night, saying that we said no to another second round pick we was offered for Jimmy. We turned that down. I don't know how true it is, but if we keep turning down these second rounders, then at this point, no one's gonna give you a first round. And I don't know if the condition were too low, but at this point, you just gotta take what you can and run.
Yeah, I mean, but it's the same with any rumor though, because Jimmy's got his no trade clause, and it could be that it wasn't the Niners that said no; it's just the Niners said no because Jimmy was never going to say yes. Because any trade is reliant on Jimmy saying yes at the end of the day. It's the same with Deshaun Watson. He's now requested you've got the two teams. Well, I know Panthers definitely have put that offer in, but he's requested a personal visit before he even signs off his no trade clause, which makes things harder again for us and puts things longer and longer. So who knows,
I think you'll see, Mav, today I played a bit of devil's advocate. I've had a quiet social media day today, but I did jump on the 49er Faithful UK account and I tweeted out the picture of the guy sat with a cup of tea and it says, change my mind. And it says, change my mind that the 49ers are not restructuring Jimmy. And I just put, what do we think of this, Faithful? And switched my phone off for a few hours. And the other lad who runs the account with me, when I switched my phone back on, was like, you've blown 49er Faithful UK Twitter up. I'm sick of people texting me and tweeting me. And that just shows you, though, how emotive the Jimmy G stuff is. What's Ryan showing there?
Chandler Jones.
Wait,
let's get to it. It just says, let's get to it. It's cryptic.
Wait, that was him? That was him who tweeted?
That was him. That was him on Twitter.
He could be talking about releasing a music single, though. We all got a lot of people got het up about Debo's thing about asking about a realtor in Miami. Turned out it's nothing. He's not going anywhere. So
what got me was Tyreek Hill. I had to really look at the comments of what was being said about him because I didn't hear nothing about it. He was pretty much thanking Chiefs Nation. But a lot of people said he was retiring his high school jersey. So he was pretty much saying thank you to the Chiefs Nation for supporting him and such like that. But when I read it, the first thing that popped in mind was, hey, where are you going?
You've got to be careful, haven't you?
It's the thing with the off season, isn't it? Like, Nick, did you see the tweet I put out earlier? Have you seen that coffee table with the McFarlane figures with the cash? £10,000 coffee table, Mav. And I always wind my other half up because I'm trying to build my collection like Nick's impressive one you can see over his shoulder. And I said, I've seen this coffee table online. Should we have a look at it? And she was like, $10,000. You can, but like you said, I showed that tweet out. Now, someone who might not know me very well might think, oh, Paul's doing very well off these appearances. He's going to be spending £10,000 on a coffee table. But like you said, the Tyreek Hill tweet there, that's very cryptic.
I got some. Hey, Mav, I got some breaking news here for you guys. It's not like was potentially, but here you go. He just posted it about 3 hours ago. He said,
"Oh
Clark,
yeah, I see. Now I was going to say because that changes the conversation then.
Yep.
Because we were talking last night, weren't we? If you had, do you want Bobby or do you want Chandler Jones?
Mm-hmm.
I think the more appropriate question, seemingly, is: would you rather Frank Clark or Chandler Jones?
It's right there. It's
Who's
three of them right there.
Who's younger? First off, who's younger and who's cheaper?
Frank Clark's 27, 28, but his cap hit next year is 26 million.
I want Jimmy G.
I'm even without those things, I'm still taking. I'm leaving it alone, Paul. I'm leaving it alone. I'm powering through.
Chandler Jones is 22, by the way.
I'd still take Chandler Jones.
How much is he going to cost though? Because he's
He's not going to be a cap hit of 26 million. His cap hit won't be 26 million. That's the thing. He's a free agent. We can negotiate a team-friendly deal, 2 to 3 years.
You got to get rid of Jimmy first, though, still, haven't you? To free up that space.
Mm.
Yeah, and that's getting. It seems like further and further away by the day. So, does that have to get done first before they make a move?
I think it does. You want to know what space you're working with before you start trying to make too many big signings. Don't you? At the end of the day, we need Jimmy moved on. I love Jimmy. I still think Jimmy was the best thing for us last year, but we need to move him now, ASAP.
The thing is, when you start restructuring other contracts, sorry, Mav, if you look at the Cowboys, I have a good friend who's a Cowboys fan, and you look at the trouble there, and now they've got rid of Cooper because he was going to cost 20 million. The contract they handed Zeke, it's handcuffing them, and we could restructure some people, Ashley, and kick the money down the road if we're in a win now mode, and that's what makes it interesting when you look at Deshaun Watson. His cost hasn't going to have gone down, even with a year apart. They're going to want multiple firsts. They're going to want high caliber players. Look at his salary cap; it's in the 30 plus the next so many seasons, and it's just the beauty of this sport. And we're all talking now. When you March the 13th, I think with Jimmy. Before we move on, because I know we're all talking about it, the 49ers don't have to do anything at the moment for me. Because worst case scenario, they just release him ahead of the league season, and they've got the cap space. And I think, like you said, Nick, they're not supposed to be in the official tampering. Is it? Oh no! Is it today? It starts the official tampering where they can start negotiating deals now, but they can't release it until
in 2 days.
2 days. So most of these deals are agreed. Look at Russell Wilson. Denver Broncos didn't just on Tuesday morning pick up the phone and say, "Hello, lads, fancy sending us Russell for the farm?" It was done, and like you said, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors and all the deals that are going on.
This is it. I mean, you look at a lot of the players' tweets. I wonder if players have figured out, do you know what? I'm going to have a little bit of fun with the fans. They like to overreact on social media. Let's just put something out a little bit cryptic and see what happens.
Well, did you see Debo's tweet today? Sorry, Nick. Did you see Debo's in Miami with McDaniel? Yeah. So, and I know people watching the show are going to laugh, but if I was down your neck of the woods, me, you, and Ash should go for a pint and just say you have your Welsh football flag team on, and my teammates are thinking, what's Paul doing for a pint down there? New beginnings, welcome to the team, and all the rest of it. Debo Samuel is a good friend with McDaniel. But I saw that tweet today, and I didn't overreact. But I know some people will have saw Debo in Miami going for coffee with McDaniel on the back of his tweet, looking for property down there and thinking, oh, does that mean we're trading Debo to Miami? I mean, Christ, if we did that, we'd want a hell of a package back. But stranger things have happened in football.
You never know. This is it. You never know.
Frank Clark's 29 and Chandler Jones 32.
Is that the age?
Frank Clark.
Frank Clark's younger.
Frank Clark, bro. His contract value is 104 million or 28.
Big.
20
yeah.
point.
It's really, really big. I think it's too high. It's way too high for us to trade for him because the Chiefs aren't gonna want to let him go on the cheap either. Yeah, they're going to want a relatively decent pick. I mean, they're not going to get a high pick because his contract is so high.
Well, next year he's due 26.3 this year, and next year, 2023 he's due 27.8. But if I look over, like if they cut him before June 1st, next season, they actually saving 13.6 million.
Mm.
But by 2023 season, if they cut him, they'll be saving between 6.8 to 21 million dollars.
I can't see them cutting him. They'll want something for him. A premier pass rusher like that, they're going to want something.
Especially the way the league
So
is at
if
the
you-
moment. And if you look at their division, they're in now. Have Russell Wilson, Herbert,
Mhm.
Derek Carr gets a lot of hate, but still, the Raiders did better than most expected last year.
Mhm.
I mean, I did see a tweet yesterday that said, imagine Deshaun Watson at the Raiders. Now, I'm not going to get into the ramifications of the trade pick, but they're looking upon,
Yeah.
you know, can you imagine a division with Mahomes, Herbert, Wilson, Deshaun Watson. Not a bad division of quarterbacks.
Wait, hold on. Deshaun Watson with the Raiders?
I've seen a tweet yesterday. I mean, I think purely based on the quarterbacks I've just mentioned, but
who do you give him though? Who do you give him over there?
It's insane.
Like who knows?
It'll be trading him from Houston to Houston.
They'd give him Josh Jacobs, probably Hunter Renfrow, though, and that's not a really attractive piece compared to. Well, he's a good receiver, but like he's not he's not like a game changer receiver, is he really? So they could trade away though. Who's the tie end for them was really, really good. If they packaged him with someone,
Darren Waller.
Waller,
yeah.
He's quality. So
I wouldn't mind trading. I wouldn't mind trading him off neither.
Yeah, the thing is though, Mav, we will laugh and imagine Noah Fant. Denver news breaks we've traded for Russell Wilson. He's like, yes, I've got a good quarterback. Oh, sorry, Noah. Pack your bags, son. You're heading off to Seattle. And like you said, it is a business though. I know I seen that tweet and I thought, wow, you know, that quarterback division would be class. But like you said, again, now it puts us in a waiting game because we said a couple of weeks ago we needed to see where Aaron Rodgers went. We needed to see where Russell Wilson went. I mean, my friend who's a Packers super fan was over the moon with the Rodgers deal. When you look at the small print, for me, it looks like it's another 1 year rental and they haven't released the details of the contract. But even still,
that's all it is.
Jordan Love, if Rodgers is going to be there for 4 years, does Jordan Love suddenly enter the conversation of a quarterback someone might trade for? Again, is he ahead of Jimmy in the pecking order of the trades? And
do you seriously believe someone will trade for Love to be their starter?
I think they trade for Love to give him an opportunity.
But let's be honest,
Love will actually be good in future. I rate him a lot coming out of college. You do a lot of
things.
That's fixable.
Depends what the Packers are going to want for him. If they're wanting high draft picks, then they're jiggered. He's not. He's not going to
want a fish, otherwise they're going to look like clowns for drafting him in the first round.
Run. Okay, run a scenario for Jordan Love right now.
Well, no, but I'm just saying though, like Ashley was saying.
Go on. Sorry,
Ashley was saying there though, Mav. I don't watch a lot of college football, but again, you're seeing teams now. You know, the Premier pieces are going, and you're sitting there. The 49ers have turned down a second round for Jimmy G. Could someone take a punt on the likes of Jordan Love? I don't know. And you've got to look at Washington taking Carson Wentz in his full contract, like Welsh Nick said at the start of the show. Takes the Colts from looking around in the bargain basement to suddenly they've got $70 million worth of cap space because they've got rid of his whole contract. I mean, how Washington have made that trade for me, that's unbelievable. When you think 2 weeks ago, if you search for Carson Wentz on Google, it would say they were going to cut him. And Washington have come along. And you're not telling me that Washington think Wentz is going to take them to the Super Bowl next year. But it's a bit like when the Texans sent that quarterback, was it Osweiler, to Cleveland, and it was just a dump. You don't know, Mav. Someone might come along. I'm just throwing stuff out because you've got to forget Jordan Love. They must have seen something in him. The Packers jumped up to get him, and at the time, a lot of people were thinking, "Is this?"
I mean, think about it. It's a lot of clubs that see something in all these players. I mean, I can go as far back as like people like Brock Berlin. Who who's that quarterback who played for Alabama before Nick Saban? Brett's, I can't even remember his name, but he ended up playing with the Chiefs and didn't win not one game. He went first round. We could talk about Vince Young, who had his best season only his second year, and after that, that was it. We could talk about Mark Sanchez, who's always going to remember for the butt fumble, but he's doing great right now being the analyst. And I mean, who else can we talk about? Dude, it's a lot of players that you see the potential in college. That's so true. But you can almost tell how their performance is going to translate into the NFL based on the team that picks them because of their style of play in college.
But yeah, this is exactly what I've been saying about Drew Lock. If you don't know, Paul, I actually think Drew Lock could be a good player in the NFL. He was plugged into a system in Denver which really, really didn't suit his skill set at all. If you watch his college tape, he played in a spread offense, spread everybody out, throw the ball downfield. He was a downfield thrower from the gun. The Broncos, they stuck him under center, 2 tight ends in the back, made him turn his back to defense, or made him take 3-step drops and throw spacing concepts or quick passing concepts, timing concepts, which that wasn't his skill set. He was a downfield thrower. That's where his skills lay. It's like making Patrick Mahomes do the same thing. Although it's different. They're different calibers of players for me. The Kansas City's offense very much suits what he does well. The Broncos doesn't suit what Drew Lock does well, and you can look at it in other ways as well with Jordan Love as well. Because the reason Jordan Love was such a dramatic pick was he had a relatively bad senior year. His offensive coordinator, his junior year, left to become a head coach somewhere else, and they brought in a head coach who took over the offense and put a system in that he wasn't very familiar with, and he struggled. They didn't tailor the skill set to him. And for me, that soured a lot of people on Jordan Love as well. I think the fact that he's had this big controversy and they took him in the first round has also soured people's opinions of him. I think GMs and front offices take into fan perception as well a lot when they're making these trades. But these players do have potential for me. It's just the situation they're in very much handicaps them. Like I don't think anyone's really seriously going to trade for Jordan Love because no one's going to want to trade a first for him really, because what the Packers have done with him hasn't shown people a lot of faith, and it's going to look bad from an outsider's perspective as well. I actually think as well. If you took, I'll bring it to an end quickly. I think Seattle actually see something in Drew Lock, and I think they're going to give him a year to prove himself because I reckon he might do a bit better in an offense that's more tailored to him. I reckon. My mindset with quarterbacks has changed a lot these last few years. You should be drafting with potential rather than pure production, unless your name's Joe Burrow, because Joe Burrow is just God.
I would agree with you on that one. Only after everything is settled down with the drafts and all that. What about you, Nick? How you feel about that?
I mean, I think they will. I think they would trade Jordan Love for less than a first. I think they've shown enough commitment in Aaron Rodgers now, even if it looks like the deal is essentially a 1-year rental. I think there's enough there to, okay, let's just see if we can recoup a second or a third or a couple of things, something along those lines. And let's show Rodgers, okay, let's go and grab you some players. Let's go see what we can do. Let's retool this. Let's go for it. Because let's be honest, most teams in the NFC now are looking at this exodus, and it is a bit of an exodus of some of the top players are leaving the NFC and going to AFC teams. The NFC is there for the taking. The Packers could see this as an opportunity to go, okay, we could go and be the number 1 seed for the next 2 to 3 years. Whether it's reality or not, a whole different thing. But having the pick is better than having a guy sat there doing absolutely nothing.
I mean, he is holding the clipboard, so he's doing something.
See, to be fair to Ash, I think what Ash has touched upon there with Seattle, I don't think Seattle are going to go in for Watson because I think they're going to give Locke a chance. I think they're clearing the boards, the release of Wagner, they're getting the draft picks. Could it be Carroll's last season? And I heard something in another chat room the other day which says, could Seattle be clearing the decks for Sean Payton to have a year off, come back into Seattle in a year's time, and he's basically got the cap space, he's got draft picks, he's in a scenario, and I was like, oh, thanks for that, buddy. You know, as a 49er fan, I'm celebrating Seattle being the worst team in the division for a while, and like you've said, Ashley, the Jordan Love, the reason I threw that in, Mav, is like what Nick said. We know Aaron Rodgers likes to be told he's pretty and he's the best quarterback in the league, and it's all about his ego. And like Nick said, could this be they're going to go all in and think we're not going to worry about the future? We're going to get Aaron some draft picks. And like you said, Nick, the NFC at the moment's looking very much up for grabs. And what we're on March the 13th now, and we're no further forward to knowing where some of these quarterbacks are going to play. And it's keeping us talking, I suppose, boys.
I wasn't sure if you
So
told
first
me that
off,
either, boys. I was distracted by the fact that something Mav said earlier had popped up on my phone about the Vikings expressing interest in Deshaun Watson. I was like, oh, is it all unfolding now at the perfect time for us? I was like, as Mav just as Mav started something.
What's going on, Ron?
That's what I was laughing at right here.
Ash just sat there on his burner account.
Shush. Yeah, I have a Vikings burner account. I have so much time.
He's on his burner account per sources straight away. Just
per sources. I can't name my sources, no respect for the sources, but wink, wink.
We're going to wake up tomorrow.
You go grunt, Nick.
We're going to wake up tomorrow, Mav.
Okay.
We're going to wake up tomorrow, Mav, and you're going to have our show viral because you're going to be the one that broke the news and you haven't dropped your source. And we're going to be those podcasters that have started some vicious rumour and we're going to blame you.
yeah, thanks, Mav.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Down Club 85. We used to get rid of George Kittle, and now he's sending vicious rumours round that we've dropped this breaking news.
Yeah.
I actually don't mind Ron's comparison there. I said I don't like it actually. That's not what I'm trying to say. But Drew Lock equals Jay Cutler is kind of interesting as well because stellar play, yes. Although I don't think Drew Lock is going to be putting as little effort in as possible like Jay Cutler did.
Oh God, I've never seen anyone put less effort into playing quarterback in the NFL.
Diabetic quarterbacks who wear six around the world. That's all I'll say.
Especially when he went out there with the Bears, man. I mean, like, God, Jesus, dude. I mean, you thought he was like God's gift to earth. But anyways, though, moving on from Jay Cutler. I never liked him anyway. But to get back to that Drew Lock, though. Drew Lock, I agree with you. Fair shot. He didn't really get it, especially over in Denver. I mean, that's a system. How many times they switched coaches before? I mean, while he was on starter? At least twice, right?
Once, I believe. But it was defensive coaches twice, I believe. And they played a very, let's just say, traditional system, which maybe, to me, didn't suit his skill set.
I feel like Denver has been looking for that John Elway quarterback because every quarterback that has went through Denver since Peyton Manning and all that has not really panned out. I mean, they either sit on the bench or they get shipped off somewhere else. Paxton Lynch was a guy that I liked very much, but I mean, you can say he was garbage, you can say whatever, but again, is the team that he played for. But it's quite interesting that you guys brought up Seattle with Drew Lock because the more and more you guys talk about it, it's like the more and more I see Jordan Love over there.
I think they'd be right. So can you imagine they use their picks to trade for Jordan Love? I think they'd burn down CenturyLink. If it's still called that, right?
Listen, you would still get the DK. You would still get to keep Tyler. You don't have to give up much for him.
Then you got
a solid tight end.
Like Nick said, couple of seconds, couple of thirds. It doesn't have to be first rounds. But
it's such a deep draft. You don't need first round picks this year to find starters.
No, you don't.
Yeah, true.
You really don't.
I think Ron for our crew is agreeing with you, Ashley.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, I actually, when you said it, Ron, I was like, Yeah, that's not the worst comparison in the world. It's just attitude-wise for me, they're different. I think Drew Lock would actually want to work hard to get to a level where he's successful. I think Jay Cutler just couldn't be asked.
Nah, he'd already got paid by that point. He didn't care, did he?
Well, Ron touched upon that in
You
the
can
last
tell.
show that Ron was on when he said about, again, people just plugging certain players in, and you've got to look at the attitudes and the contract. And me and Welsh Nick said, look at All-Pro Fred. He got the bag at the start of last season and his production dropped off a little bit, and he admitted himself he went from chasing that contract to being the man, and it struggled. And you say Jay Cutler, I remember first getting into the sport, and I have a mate who was a Bears fan, and he hated him, absolutely hated him. And I was a little bit like, oh, this is a bit weird. And most GMs nowadays want that shiny quarterback. You know, you've seen that Denver have gone all in on Russell Wilson. You know, Deshaun Watson's had a year out of the sport. He's going to be a starting quarterback next year. Like you said, Nick, how good is that? Yeah, I'll come over to Carolina if I have a look. I'll have a personal fly over. And he's got that much power because he's got that potential as an elite quarterback. Teams will fly him over, and it's just, I mean...
You can't blame him. He has his no trade clause. Why would he waive his no trade clause for, not even a bag of magic beans?
I must admit, I do feel sorry for the Commanders fans, because when they were checking their social media feeds last week, they'd inquired about Mahomes, they'd inquired about Rodgers, they'd inquired about Watson. Hang on a sec, gents. Carson, in your court.
Breaking news.
I'm not gonna lie.
What's up, Ron? What's up, Ron?
Yo.
I'm
like,
hey, Ron.
Jesus, this is a brand new thing for you guys, a brand new era, and this is the guy that's gonna lead you. But hey, who knows? Who knows? That might be the best situation for Carson Wentz.
Hey, Paul, as well. When you said the Commanders, it took me a good 2 or 3 seconds to go, wait, hang on, who? I was like, oh, I still can't get over it. It's the worst. Yeah. It's such a bad name. It's the most generic name I've ever heard. I know a lot of them are tied up with.
You're thinking like USFL or something?
Yeah. Well, at least the USFL names have some sort of history because people watched back then. But Commanders, when you think of Washington as a city, I would have accepted president as a name or something related to that. But Commanders, I don't even know what a commander is. What is it? Are you referring to military or?
I thought so.
Commander can be anything.
I guess they just gonna go get on the field and start commending. You know what I mean? So who knows? But I actually voted for the Washington Red Wolves. That was the name I voted
Commanders.
for.
See, Ron's jumped on now, Mav, because Ron was sat at home, and then when you've dropped your breaking news without any sources, Ron was like, get me on there, and I'm going to have a chat. So welcome to the show, Ron.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Hey, man,
what's up, Ronnie? What you got for us, man? What you got for us? Go
just,
ahead.
A little something.
Buddy.
Oh, no, don't mind me, man. Okay. I'm just, listening.
He's on his Sunday best right now. It's all good.
Oh, yeah.
Never stress, baby. Never stress.
He's like me last night when I was at my San Miguel.
Nah, just
while there's before now, look, everyone's doing it.
While there's a convenient break though, Ron, before we started, Ryan was like, not got much news to talk about tonight, and do you just want to go live? And I think we've touched upon the chemistry's building. You did the same as me when I haven't been able to come on with family commitments. I'm watching on my phone and I'm sending Welsh Nick a message, and I connected with Ashley after last week's show, and you can see the tweets. I have friends in the UK who were chatting about you two American guys. Oh, who's these two new guys who were following you? And who's that Mav who wants to burn down Club 85? I'm like, chill. It's all good. It's all good. But
you guys have redecorated my Twitter timeline. I'm starting to think, what team do I support? It's more of a Niners timeline than it is Patriots at the moment. All I get Niners stuff.
Right. Man, Ashley, you want a 49er at heart, man. You're a Niner at heart.
I'm loyal. I can't support the Patriots because of Brady. So I'm sticking with them. One, because I love them. They are my team. And I got to prove to people I'm not just a Brady fanboy.
Listen, it's okay. It's okay to tell people that you were just a Brady fan. I mean, he's been there for 20 years. It was okay. It's okay. But you're truly a Niners fan. Let's just keep it real.
It's good,
I'll
man.
make Niners my second team. How about that? Niners can be my second team.
It's all good. I've printed off the transfer form. We're putting in Ash's transfer request. It's all good.
I have no trade clause in my contract, so I can put an end to that right now.
As your agent, on behalf of you, I have waived it because it is in your best interest. And we're sending it off to Roger Goodell tomorrow.
You're fired.
I can't.
I was quite shocked to find that Ashley was a Patriots fan.
He just fired his agent.
On the first show.
Live on Red and Gold 24/7. Okay. Ash has fired me.
I got a question for you, Ash. I got a question for you. Now, I can't remember exactly, but what was the record you say the Patriots are gonna have?
I think I said what did I say? I think but did I say the 10-7 or 11-6?
Somewhere around there.
Okay, I tell you what. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. The 49ers have a better season record-wise than the Patriots. You have to become a 49ers fan, and you have to be sworn in.
I'm not taking that deal. Absolutely not. But you not.
I like it.
Absolutely not.
What? We'll give listen. We'll give you your props. We will give you your props if you make the playoff again. Huh?
I'm not a plastic fan. Okay, I generally like them. I like the Patriots. They are my team.
They're not though, because you walk around in Iowa tops. You never. In fact, I have never seen you in a Patriots.
I'm not an Iowa fan. I'm an Iowa State fan. Get it right.
I've never seen you in a Pats top. However, I do know that you own a Baker Mayfield top.
Yes, I do, because he wears number 6, and I needed someone good to wear number 6.
So, in terms of the jerseys, speaking of Baker Mayfield, how do y'all feel about Mark Cooper joining him?
Can't make him any worse.
Yeah, true.
I mean, can't make who any worse.
Can't make Baker any worse.
Amari Cooper's in timeout, remember?
Okay.
He's in the naughty corner.
I mean, is it really true? Is it really true? Have the Browns become the new Green Bay Packers of the 90s, of the early 90s? Whenever they wanted, get rid of a player, they sent them to Green Bay to die until Green Bay became this juggernaut back again? Because, I mean, that's how Brett Favre, Reggie White.
I'd say they're more reminiscent.
That's how they ended up there. I mean, they were sent to Green Bay.
For me, they're more like the Cardinals. Because the Cardinals was when I started watching the NFL anyway, the Cardinals was the place where you went to die for a while anyway. At least when I was starting to get into it anyway. So
yeah, no, that's true. They still suck.
I didn't really see the Cardinals like that, man. Like honestly, I've always seen them. You know, they've always went after try to go after big name players, but
they were always on the cusp, but never quite there, were they?
They were always on the cusp of the end of the career, weren't they? Emmitt Smith's the clear one,
right?
It's still horrendous.
Pretty much. I remember watching the documentary. Go ahead.
If you go back through most teams, I mean, obviously I'm off at the moment, so I've been watching the Joe Montana documentary and reading all the Steve Young books and the O.J. Simpson trade that the Niners made, and they've come out since and said that was absolutely terrible, but it was done for marketing reasons. And you know, you're saying there, Baker Mayfield. He's another name that we forgot to talk about, Mav. Is he possibly going to get traded this year? So is he another one ahead of Jimmy in the queue? But before Ashley answers, I just wanted to say that you've got to give him immense credit for sticking with his Patriots. And I think us UK fans need a bit of credit for that because, you know, none of us would change our team at all. I remember a couple of years ago going on a fantasy league night out at Christmas and we were getting the ugly jumpers. And the lad who ordered the jumpers tried to play a fast one, saying, "Oh, you haven't got a Niners one, mate. You've got a Dolphins one." I was like, "I'm not coming." And they were like, "Really?" I was like, "I'm not wearing another team's NFL gear. 49ers, or I'm not coming." So to be fair, Ash, most Patriots fans in the UK did get into the sport because of Brady. And like yesterday, it was massive news over here that Tom Brady was at Manchester United because that's arguably the biggest soccer team over here. And the fact that he was in the stadium. And I have people who don't know what the NFL is, but they know who Tom Brady is. So for Ash to stay, because it was like Freddie said last night, Seattle fans will drop off over here now Wilson's gone. Some UK fans, there's the opposite extreme. You've got the likes of us who've picked our team. We're not changing. But I know people who they'll go with their quarterback. I know my mate was a Green Bay fan. Rodgers had gone. He'd have gone. I know another lad who's followed other people around. Every time he updates his Facebook profile, he's got a different team. And I think, wow. So I don't blame you for not taking Mav's bet, Ash. However, you've got to give Mav the credit for trying to sneak that one in.
I admire it. It was really ballsy. I'll give you that. It was better than just saying
I'm
I have to be
I'm
my ex-agent in the corner here. But
Did you point
I'm gonna
at
let you
Ryan?
guys.
Or
I'm
what
gonna
did
let you
Ryan do?
guys in.
I'm not pointing at Ryan. I'm pointing at you, dickhead.
I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret about me that most people don't know about. Before I became a 49ers fan, I was a Dolphins fan. Only because I lived in Miami, down south for about a year and a half, and that was the only team I knew. The Marlins, the Hurricanes. But when I moved to Tampa in '94, I got exposed to more teams. So I was able to actually dissect and pick a team. But I still secretly root for the Dolphins. Don't get me wrong now. I still want to see them do good. I mean, they are a Florida team, so
yeah. Like, it's quite interesting how we pick teams over here. Like, the reason I want to stick as a Patriots fan as well is because of the reason I started supporting them. I feel like a lot of people over here supported them because they were one of the best teams. Yeah. The way I got into it, and it's the way I got into the NFL as well, was my school used to do discounted trips to the NFL games in Wembley in London. And for some reason, they let my year group in school go as well because they had enough tickets. And it happened to be the year that the Patriots played the Rams in Wembley. And I thought, I was looking at the team list. I was like, Tom Brady, I know who that is from a Family Guy episode. I remember briefly seeing him, but not knowing why he was such a big deal. So I was like, okay, like, I'll go there then. I know who he is, and I know he's a really great player after doing some research. And I watched the game, and I thought, I'll just see what the teams are like. I'll see what the atmosphere is like there. And everyone was a Patriots fan. The atmosphere was great. He played amazing. The whole team played amazing. I saw Gronkowski for the first time. I really liked him as well because he was such a character. And I thought, it makes sense then after like watching that performance where they'd blown out the Rams, who I thought, why would I support the Rams after that? I thought, I'm going to follow the Patriots. Then learning after that they were such a hated team and such a bandwagon team. That was something that came after. I learned about after. But the reason I'm a Patriots fan is because they were the first team, one of the first two teams I ever watched play. So that's what got me into them.
Oh, there's like you said, the UK fan base. We all pick our, and you look at the international games. I've never been fortunate enough to go for a number of reasons, and I always say I'm going to go every year. And my only regret of 2013 was my little girl was 6 months old, and the Niners were playing at Wembley. And I said to my wife at the time, shall I go? Shall I go? Money was a bit tight. She convinced me not to go. And then when my marriage ended, I joke on with all my friends, that's the one regret. I should have bloody been there when Kaepernick was beating the Jags. And I vowed if they come over, I'll go again. But you look at the international series, you look at all the photos, you see all the jerseys. Like I was saying, Ron, I was out for dinner last night with the family, and a guy approached and was chatting to me about 49ers because he recognised, obviously, the Kittle jersey, the hat. He'd listened to the pods. And the young waiter was confused. He was like, what are you talking about? Because you don't often get another NFL fan in the UK that you can stand and chat and talk football. And they say we're doing these shows and you can see the interaction on Twitter. To be fair, Ashley, before I hand over to someone else, my friends who don't watch NFL hate a few of them have rang me and said, I'm taking you off Twitter because all we see is 49ers stuff. And I was like, I'm never going to apologise for sharing 49ers stuff on my Twitter account because that's what I use Twitter for. That's why I signed up for it. Before I found the Facebook groups and I found shows like this, it was my only way of interacting with other 49ers fans was on Twitter because I naively thought I was the only 49er in the UK staying up till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and going online was the only way to connect. And then we've got the show like today. Obviously, Ryan, you've been very quiet tonight on your own show. Come and join us on the conversation, buddy.
Nah, I've been in and out because of my daughter and my kids. So sorry.
That's okay.
Right, man.
They're making a mess. So I got a big mess to clean when I'm done. So it's all
unreliably informed. That's the fun of having kids.
I can. You'll be there, man. You'll get there.
Trust me, not for a while.
No, I can relate to you guys though. I mean, being diehard fans, staying up till like 3, 4 in the morning. Because remember, I told you I love soccer too. So when the World Cup comes around, I have to make sure I follow Brazil up until either they make it all the way or get eliminated. Mm-hmm. And I must say, even though I am a diehard 49er fan, but I believe Brazil is like the only team that you would see tears come out of my eyes if they lost a big game.
There's something about the passion of football.
And I don't know why.
Yeah. And in America, I meant to say.
Well, I don't know if it's just I don't know if it's so much of the passion like that, but it's just something about them, man. It's like I want to say it's because it's every 4 years that they don't, you know, that's like that shot. That's your shot right there. You got to wait a whole nother 4 years to even see if you can make it again. So it's like, it's not like the NFL. Oh, I lost this year. I got next year. You know, I got next year. But soccer is, like you said, I mean, I am very passionate about it, but man, especially when I believe Germany beat us like 7-0.
7-1, yeah.
7-1.
Grown baby.
That was
7-1. See, thank you for at least giving me that 1 point. I didn't even remember
that. That was insane.
I think they sold out.
Yeah, but you go back to, like we were saying, Mav, when we have a meet-up every year. The 49er Faithful has a Super Bowl meet-up. We book it at the start of the season. And the year we got the Chiefs, it was building. And some people were accusing us of being a bit bandwagon. And we were like, we had this booked back in September. We were meeting up regardless. And my missus came with us. And going into that fourth quarter, the atmosphere, as you can imagine, we're winning. The 6 Lombardis coming home. And then when it turned around and the lights came on at 5 a.m, she said it was like, honestly, it was just silence. None of us could speak to each other. And like that walk back to the hotel was just awful. The only saving grace was I was in a room with 30 other 49ers and I wasn't at home on my own. And like you'll probably find now, you guys are following us online when the season starts. Me and Nick, the game will finish at 3-4 o'clock in the morning here. There's no chance you can go to sleep. So you jump on Twitter or you jump in Facebook Messenger, and you know it comes to 5-6 o'clock in the morning. Whether you win, lose, or draw, for want of a better word, you're up. But the World Cup is. I've gone off soccer, for want of a better word. But when the international tournaments come round, I do like to watch international tournaments. But I know more about the NFL than I do about English football and stuff like that. So
same here.
Yeah,
I've got an idea, Nick. I feel like we need to turn Mav to a Swans fan because he hasn't got a club team.
Ooh.
I feel like maybe I can incorporate this into the
What's this?
Fan.
Oh, yeah. Don't support Man United. Swansea City, that's where it's at.
You have to follow him that close, but just be a closet Swans fan.
I don't really do the clubs like that. Now, if you want to talk to my little brother, I mean, he'll go to Manchester United and all that. I mean, his clubs. Who does Messi play for? Barcelona.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever Messi went, that's who you. Yeah. See, so I'm a guy. So wherever he's at, that's where I'm at.
Okay.
And you can be a closet Swans fan as well, just in the back of your mind. Just know that.
But it's like why most people get into the NFL. It's like over here, Mav and Ron, Red Zone is massive. I know people who do fantasy football and just watch Red Zone, and they've watched the first proper NFL game and they're confused because the difference between Red Zone and watching a game is unreal. But it just shows you how the passion's grown over here. And the international series tickets, I mean, they sell out in seconds, and the stadiums are all sold out, and it's just unbelievable. I mean, we're hoping to get a 49er Faithful UK meet-up in the States in the next season. So obviously if that goes ahead and if me and Nick are over, we'll bring Ashley along, but you'll have to wear some 49er gear, Ashley. But that would be the dream, having a meet-up in the States with all you guys and watching a game, and
at Levi's.
It would be unreal. It would be unbelievable.
Yeah, I've been a Niners fan all my life. Probably since I was like freaking 3 or 4 years old. And man, there was nothing like the Super Bowls, really. And I know I wasn't there live, but I did watch it on TV. I tell you, man, that's why the reason why when I bring up the old 80s and then the early 90s with the Super Bowl, the last Super Bowl in 94, man, that last Super Bowl, man, that was amazing. I was actually a sophomore in high school, and all the kids I went to school with.
Was it 94?
94 last time they won the Super Bowl.
It's the Chargers, wasn't it?
I was sophomore in high school, and I had all kinds of fans coming up to me in school saying, "Hey, you're -1. You happy?" I'm like, "Yeah." Because you know why? Because we made it. Exactly what I told them. So, what's that one?
God, I see JC Jackson. No,
Chargers.
Chargers, yeah.
Yeah, I thought might be
Heavily.
Time for me to start looking at corners in the draft.
Yeah.
And there was something else I wanted to say too. Oh yeah. Yeah. Since Maverick said something about Ashley about the best record between both of our teams. How about this, Mav and Ash? I'll raise it up a little bit. Whoever ends I never did this before either. All the seasons I never done it before. Whoever has a better season had a better record between both our teams. The loser has to wear the other one's jersey.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. Okay.
I'll wear I know a problem wearing a Patriots jersey because my wife.
I can sort that out.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could.
I ain't got no problem. But hold on though.
Okay.
Now, I would do you the favor of wearing the jersey of the player that I can't stand the most, which is Tom Brady. So therefore, you would have to do me the favor wearing the player that you can't stand the most.
Who's that, Ashley? Who's that?
Who would that be on the Niners right now?
It's not that I can't stand him on the Niners. It's more the school he went to, and Nick knows exactly where I'm going with this.
I got several of his jerseys. It's all good. The only thing,
George Kittle, as an Irish State fan, that would
George Kittle.
We have a few 85 jerseys in the UK, actually. There's a few kicking about.
The thing is, though, I am quite a lot bigger than Ash. It will look like he's wearing a dress.
I'm big too, Nick. I'm big too.
Send me the link to one of those sites you use. Not like that, but like
no. You don't have to buy one. I will lend you one happily. That's not a problem.
I throw it in the tumble dryer on like max heat then, and
I'll batter the living shit out of you.
Right, okay.
Hold on a second before we get off. I wanna rewind back to Frank Clark. Frank Clark, real quick. Now we talked about his age. We talked about the money and everything, but this is something I'm just reading now that was 5 hours ago. It said he could be traded or released. Now, if he's released, does it look better, or do you still shy away from him?
I still shy away from him because I don't think he would restructure, or not enough to make it worthwhile.
But I mean, if he's released, he ain't got no. Not if he's released, do you?
If he's released,
you can offer him another contract.
Yeah, no. If he doesn't, no. If he's released, he has the ability to just sign whatever contract he feels fits him. Okay, now, if he's traded, which I highly doubt, I would strongly recommend you go against. Then, yeah, he would either have to restructure or extend it. But yeah, pass on Frank Clark.
Chandler Jones for me.
Yeah.
So we said at the start, Ron, that we weren't going to do a long show tonight because we didn't think we'd have much to talk about. But what I would like you to do, Ryan, after the show when we jump off, is I do think you need to tweet out the challenge that Mav and Ashley have kindly accepted.
Yeah, this is it.
Hey, Ron, you want in on that too?
What's that?
The jersey.
Oh, the bet?
Yeah,
no, that's Mav's bet.
Is it really that bad?
Well, did you hear what I told him the first time, right? About he got to come over to us now. We have a better record. He has to leave the pictures come over.
I actually have a Brady jersey. I mean, it doesn't fit me, but my buddy went and bought one when they went to the Super Bowl, so I can definitely lend you one, Mav.
There we are, Mav. You sorted already.
You can keep it. I'll ship it to you for free.
Oh yeah, I'm going to manifest now Trey Lance doing at least like 20 picks this season and really blowing it for the Niners. As much as I like him, I can't want him to do well now, which is annoying. But
what do we do if it's the same record?
Patriots end up having.
Ooh.
What's the tie break?
I think the tie break is they both have to do it.
I mean, it would be very impossible.
Don't you make the rules now? This isn't your bet.
No, okay. Tie break. No. Here's the tie break. Good. I was gonna give my idea to you too.
was getting my idea. Go ahead.
INTs.
Oh, you can still give me an idea, but here's my tiebreaker. If we end up with the same record, then the tiebreaker goes to the quarterback, to the best quarterback.
Yeah.
How we define
what's the most touchdowns or least
best
interceptions?
The best quarterback. Yeah, the best quarterback overall. I mean, you have to look at the touchdown, the yardage, the sacks, interceptions. I mean, between those two, compare them. Who came out better this season?
I know where Maverick's going with that.
Yeah, so do I. I think it needs to be a panel vote at that point.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter anyway. It's going to have a better record regardless. So yeah.
You can't be better than
that.
20
Is fine. That is fine. I would love the panel to vote.
Yeah, panel vote it is.
Yeah, I got my wife's
I
got my wife's Tom Brady
jersey.
I
would throw on a Tom Brady jersey. I would throw on a Tom Brady jersey with a George Kittle bobblehead.
Just for the record, I have to wear the top here. Yeah.
Yeah, on the show. Yeah,
I have to wear it in public for Super Bowl party.
No, and tweet it out. But it's just showing a bit of banter that's going on. That's why I'm saying if you tweet it out afterwards, it helps grow. And I think, it would be you'd have to wear it for a show, and then you'd have to tweet a picture of it out. That would be my thing. But again, Ashley, you would make it clear while your friend, it is a bet. We're not saying you have to go wear it to a practice or unless Nick wants up the ante.
Yeah, I do.
You know what? I would leave it up to your agent over there.
Thank you. There we go.
After we honor our bet, then you are all his for the rest of the evening.
Oh yeah.
Ashley's like, why did I join?
Right now.
Yeah, no. Nick, do you know what? This is a podcast good, John. It'd be really fun. Go on, nothing will happen. It'd be great fun. You'll have a hell of a time. Nothing bad will come of it.
So he already knows you, Nick. Oh my god.
I think you'd be really good on the podcast, Ash.
I do like the idea. I do like the idea about the quarterback. Whoever does most in the quarterback between Mac Jones and Trey Lance. But mine was out of the whole season between both teams, whoever scores the most points at the end of the season, add them all up, both scores, whoever has the highest wins.
Thing is, at this point,
that was my tiebreaker.
Trey's going to win because the team you've got to take away the defensive points that are scored by the Pats because they don't count because the offense didn't score those points.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do. I'm talking about the not the whole team, but just the offense. Of course.
Regardless, I'm losing the tiebreaker. Let's just have it now. It's a draw.
I agree with Maverick.
No way I'm winning the tiebreaker.
I may or may not be stacking this deck.
Yeah, we're not going to build this up on Twitter at all, Ashley. There's not going to be any tweets. We're not going to remind you about this at any stage during the season. And we won't mention it on the shows. Will we never?
No. My tweets are protected anyway. My tweets are protected because I'm a school teacher. I have to protect them. So limited people will see them regardless. So, yeah.
It's all good. We would never do anything.
Your agent's tweets are not protected.
Well, I have an agent. Not one I just fired, is it? Well, I don't pay anything.
I think I can make a few more friends up there in the UK to follow me. So hey, I think I
reckon
can
so.
make that happen.
We can get this trending quite easily. We get the 49 Faithful UK on it.
You can have Ames Iowa follow you. Like I have more people follow me who are Iowa State fans than Patriots fans. Mainly because every Patriots fan group I've joined has been so toxic. I've left it pretty much instantly because it just I can imagine what it's like being split in the middle with Jimmy G and Trey Lance, but I couldn't handle the Pats ones. They drove me up the wall. So, but yes, bet is on.
News for you, Ashley, is I also have my personal account, but I also have the login for the 49er Faithful UK Twitter account, which goes out to all the 49er Faithful UK. So when Mav gives me the hashtag that he would like, I will tweet it out just for
I will let you come up with your own hashtag, Paul. What's up?
So Panama Queen.
Please, I would love to see the hashtag.
Thank you, Panama Queen. Thank you.
Oh gosh, what have we done?
I think we need to let Ash digest this now before he's thinking, "Oh my God, what have I got myself into here?"
Nah, I'll be alright. It'll be fun regardless. It'll be fun whoever wins. I will have to wear a dress, but it'll be like a dress. Sorry, Nick, no offense.
It will. No, I know. Yeah, I know. You what? 4 foot in a fag paper, and I'm 6 foot tall.
I'm the same size potential NFL QB because I always down the hill for Kyler Murray because he's small. One of the QBs at the combine, Derek King, measured in a 5'8", same height as me the other day. 5'8" 3/4. Okay, so he's a little bit taller than me, but I found someone else to stand
how tall was Sean King though? How tall was Joe Hamilton? They were short guys too.
In the modern NFL, though, he's the shortest they've ever measured since 2003.
Wow.
So,
who was that?
Derek King, Miami quarterback. Played at Houston for a couple of years.
He was the shortest?
Yeah, he's 5'8" 3/4. Short as they've measured at the combine anyway since 2003.
I don't think he's gonna do well in the NFL. I mean,
no. Well, apparently he might change position to wide receiver anyway.
Who was the last Hurricane quarterback that actually panned out in the NFL that you can remember?
Vinny
Testaverde?
He didn't really work out though, did he?
I think Vinny Kosar is a better one.
Wow, you went
far
back.
What's his name? Not Vinny Kosar. Who's the other one?
Not Chapman.
You know the one I'm talking about, for the Bills, like in the 90s. Jim Kelly.
Jim Kelly.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I mean, he was even though he didn't win, but he probably was the most successful Hurricane quarterback in the league. 4 Super Bowls, but still he ain't win none.
I really enjoyed that Disney Plus series.
Besides them.
Yeah, I watched that. That was pretty good.
That was really good. So over here, Matt, we don't
get about Buffalo.
Yeah, we don't get much content over here unless we go online. But Disney Plus did. There was like a series of 4 episodes about the Buffalo Bills in the 90s, and it was really interesting as a neutral to go in and watch and think, Christ Almighty, 4 in a row. Can you imagine if we were Bills fans and we were doing a show like this and we went to the 4 Super Bowls in a row and you got beat 4 years in a row? Now that must be, I can't even. It's bad enough with the Jimmy Trey.
Yeah. I think lose 4 in a row, that's enough to put yourself through a table. So that all of a sudden I start to understand that.
I mean, that was just one guy. Lost 4 in a row, right? I mean, the Vikings had 3 different quarterbacks? Or 2 that took them back? No. Did they have the same quarterback take them back?
They did, but they had different QBs play.
No, I think they had like 3 different quarterbacks. Yeah, so I mean, Kelly.
Jim Kelly got
one of those quarterbacks besides Marino that should have had a ring.
Agreed.
Best quarterback?
No, it wasn't the one with the 49ers, was it? Huh?
Yeah, he played the 49ers. Marino did anyway.
Yeah. Lost.
Yeah. He lost that ring. I'm sorry, we couldn't have gave it to him. We didn't want to give it to him.
Hell no. We want to be first to 5.
And I still feel. Was it the first to 5? I wasn't the first to 5.
No, we wanted to be first to 5.
Was it?
No, he said he wanted.
Yeah, we wanted to be the first to 5. Yeah, I thought said it was first to 5. I'm like, wait a second. What? In fact, what Super Bowl was that? Second one?
Super Bowl 2.
It was your second.
We played once. We played the Broncos.
So Bengals, Broncos, Chargers, Miami.
Yeah, we played the Bengals twice. We beat them twice.
Twice. Yeah,
Bengals twice. Yeah. Chris Collins.
Yeah, that's why I was excited. Yeah, that's why I was excited, hoping that it was going to be a 49ers Bronco again. I mean, Bengals again, giving them their 3rd loss.
Hat trick. Can you imagine how much Chris Collinsworth would hate the 49ers if we'd actually beaten them in another Super Bowl?
That's why I didn't want them to make it to Super Bowl, no offense. It's because I knew it'd be really hard to sit next to you in a Super Bowl party, Nick, and root against you. Because I really want them to win for you, and like all like the other boys in the teams who are Niners fans. It'd be nice for you, but I really wanted Joe Burrow to win one, so I was like, "Oh, please don't now," because I couldn't sit next to you at that party and root against you.
Yeah, Paul. I know you got to dip out. Paul. And Ron, I know you got to go too. So we can close down if you want.
All right, fellas. Just wanted to say hello.
No problem.
Have a good one.
See you soon, bud. Yep.
I think my time has come to nip out as well, given everything I've just done to myself. I need time to reflect on that.
No, on a serious
note, Ashley.
Before you shoot off, Ash, on a serious note, it is all good banter and fair play if you're doing it. And I know Nick might take it a little bit to the extreme because he sees you personally, but me and Mav will keep it clean. And for people who are tuning in and watching the show, I do think it adds a little bit of a different chemistry because they can see we could come on and just chat football. You can watch a million of these shows, but what Ryan's trying to bring a bit different is that different chemistry and it's connecting. So fair play to you for accepting the bet, but I promise we will keep it clean, but it will be out on social media. I'm not going to lie to you about that. So just wanted to say that before you went.
It'll be good fun. Thanks for that. It'll be good fun. It'll
Ashley,
be fun when I win it. So there we go.
Ashley, the bet is on. Don't worry.
The
bet is on.
No, right.
But it's gonna be a whole panel discussion on the bet. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, if I get to a tiebreak, I'm done anyway. So.
It is crazy. I'm coming across all these tweets right now, and they're pretty much saying that the 49ers are the best landing spot for Frank. Well, we heavily interested in him, but it's a lot of other teams say no, no thanks to Frank Clark. Get me Hassan Reddick. No thanks to Frank Clark. Give me somebody else. Like they keep saying no thanks to Frank Clark. Like, I mean, is there something else we don't know about him too much?
It might be the It might be the ex-Seahawks stuff. He's an ex-Seahawk. It might just be that.
Could be the D Ford stuff as well because of the D Ford trade. You know that didn't work out too well for us with the money, and I think I wouldn't pay too much attention to the social media noise, Mav. At the end of the day, it is what it is. But just before I shoot off, Mav, just wanted to say it's been absolutely great getting to know you. It's been great coming on the show. And obviously, it's, as you know, I'm off at the moment with a ruptured Achilles. So anything like this that can boost my spirits and the interaction on Twitter is good. And like, fair play to you, Ash. I texted you last week because I felt at times I may get a bit excitable and I cut off other people. And it isn't anything personal. And it is just... I live at home with 3 kids. None of them talk football. So when I get the chance to talk football with fine gentlemen like yourselves, I get a bit excitable. But Ryan, again, before I jump off the show, man, it's going great. And let's just keep doing what we're doing. And I'll speak to you all next week.
Love you, Paul, man. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming in, man.
See you, Paul. Yep. All right, guys. See you later, guys.
All right, later, guys.
I'm going to do a turn too.
There, Nick. Love yous all.
Ciao for now, guys.
Yep. There, bud.
All right, Ryan.
See ya.
Then I'm Mav. Yep. Okay, that concludes our wonderful, faithful empire. All right. So, I want to thank definitely one of the comments when Ron came before he came in. Thanks a lot, Ron, for the comments, bud. And of course, Pamela Queen. Thank you very much. The panel, Ryan and the panel. I like that. I do like that a lot. Thank you very much, Pamela. Thank you. So, basically, I'm going to go out with a bang like I always do. And, of course, before I do that, on, of course, the Red and Gold 24/7 podcast, I want to thank Maverick and Ron for coming in. All right. And definitely shout out to Mike, Drew, Peter, and Chuck. All right. Shout out to you guys. And definitely, I want to give a good shout out to the UK gentlemen. All right. To Nick Welsh. And of course, Paul, and of course, Ashley. All right. And hey, definitely big shout out to Nick Cork. All right, bud. And then I know he's going through some stuff right now. And I know I'm not going to say nothing. He knows better. I don't do that. So I let him say whatever he wants to say about it. Okay. So shout out to all you gentlemen. Thank you so much, very much for coming in and doing your thing. All right. So, like I always say, I always go to bang, and I always do. All right. So here we go. keep the faith, never lose hope. All right, guys, we're out of here. Later.